What is up, everybody? We are back in the building. Um, Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Please let me know if you can see me okay. In a second, my nephew is going to bring me my Ethernet cord so I can plug into my laptop. So if you see any lagging or anything like that, don't worry about it. But that shouldn't happen. Guys, it's so good to be here with you tonight for this special edition of Defiant Brandon because we have some very important things to talk about. Donald Trump has declared a war on Chicago, not on the citizens of Chicago, but on the criminal element that has taken over the city. And what makes this especially ironic is that the super woke mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, who is basically responsible for this mess, is begging for mercy from Donald Trump as he begs the government for financial assistance after almost bankrupting the city, pretty much bankrupting the city, giving millions and millions of dollars to criminal, illegal immigrants. I gotta watch that. Giving millions and millions of dollars to illegal immigrants and the NGOs that support them. It's so crazy to create a situation that directly hurts the citizens of Chicago and then beg Donald Trump to fix the situation for you by giving you money while simultaneously claiming to be fighting against the enforcement of the law by ICE and federal agents. This is unprecedented. You have cities in America that will openly say that they are defying the wishes of the federal government, not at the request of their constituents and their citizens, but because the political apparatus of the city or local government is controlled by super woke, far left politicians who prioritize party loyalty over serving their constituents. They prioritize party loyalty over serving their constituents. It's absolutely disgusting. And I don't understand why the people of Chicago put up with this mess. I don't understand why the people of Portland put up with this mess or any liberal city. Your local government's job is to make sure that you have an environment that is conducive to prosperity, peace, so that you and your family can thrive. Your government was not, your local government officials were not elected to serve people from another country who illegally crossed the border, many of whom came to this country and continued their criminal activity that they have been locked up for there. What's up? Did you put the... Bro, this water's not hot. Don't put the... Bro, you put that in there for 2 minutes, but you put cold water in it. Come on, common sense, man. Bro, you're the worst producer. You're fired. Anyway, listen, man, can we call ICE on this dude? You can't afford to call. Wow. Come on. All right, anyway. But yeah, so it's absolutely crazy how these people have betrayed the trust of their constituents. And a lot of the constituents don't agree with what their local governments are doing, but they are so busy trying to survive under draconian rules and taxation that they really don't have a lot of time to go down to the local city hall or to city council meetings to complain about what's going on. And what a lot of these politicians do is they consider silence approval. Oh, they're not complaining. A lot of them aren't, it's not thousands in the street complaining, so they must agree with us. When in reality, a lot of these people are struggling to survive while their taxpayer dollars are being given to people who aren't even citizens of this country, to criminals. Criminals, that's what they are. So now Donald Trump is going into the cities and he's putting belt to ass. And it's not pretty. It's not something that looks like you're playing with puppies, but it is what is necessary to make sure that this remains a country that is ruled based on law and order, not a country that descends into chaos like the countries that most of these people came from. We don't want this country looking like Haiti, where the government has totally collapsed under ineptitude and criminals roam the street cannibalizing on each other. We don't want this to look like how El Salvador used to look before Maduro got it together and started locking these animals up. We don't want this country to look like the Congo, where people are getting slaughtered. We don't want this country to look like Mexico, where cartels and drug lords rule the government, where 30 political candidates were murdered prior to the last election. But do you think the 20-year-old kids whose parents still pay their phone bill care about that? No. All these people operate just purely based on their feelings. I see some lady getting arrested and it makes me feel bad. So now I'm ready to go to war with the government because seeing this lady arrested made me feel bad. The same lady, if she told him, the same person, if they got on a bus, these people wouldn't even get up and offer the lady their seat. I've seen it in real time. The same 20-year-olds who couldn't care less about the next person, they suddenly find a heart when it comes to people they wouldn't even allow to stay with them if they requested, housing. And we've literally seen the social experiments where they pull up to these people's houses with a busload of immigrants and say, hey, can you let even one of these immigrants stay at your house? And they're like, no, I feel sorry for them, but they can't stay with me. Like I said in the Destiny debate, the left is nothing more than a bunch of fragmented groups standing on a platform of hypocrisy, challenging people to do things that they would never do. And the politicians that virtue signal and fearmonger these people are not fit to lead, because the main criteria, the number one rule of leadership, is to never ask a man or woman to do something that you're not willing to do. And that is exactly what these hypocritical, super woke activists masquerading as leaders are doing. They don't care about these people. They don't care about their constituents. They only care about loyalty to their cult that they call a political party. So they'll fight the government tooth and nail. They'll sue the government, right? They'll sue the government and try to create a situation where the government is unable to do what it needs to do, or it's unable to function in service of its citizens so that they can get their way. But it's not going to happen. The people of America are not fools. The people of America understand that this is necessary. This is why so many people in America voted for Donald Trump. First Republican to win the popular vote since, I think, Bush. Because they don't want, the majority of us do not want our country to become a safe haven for criminals and mentally ill people who don't share our American values and don't value the lives of Americans. So let me give you a little bit of video to show you what's going on in Chicago. Shout out to this guy. At this point, this guy has the Cash Jordan. This guy has the best footage. I'm telling you, I don't know where he's getting this footage, so we're just going to poach it from him. Shout out to bro. but it is going down in the city of Chicago.
Sanctuary mobs are trying once again to break into the ICE facility, and this is how that went. Oh, they're screaming. Oh, that guy's getting arrested. That person. And so are these people. But look, this guy right here, he's about to make the worst mistake of his entire life. He thinks he can take ICE one-on-one. Uh-oh. Oh, rifle behind the back.
He's not doing anything.
Whoa.
You're saying that.
Oh, what's happening?
Whoa!
And there's the takedown. Yeah, that didn't work.
He's not doing anything.
He's defying federal agents, impeding an investigation, assaulting them. Get out of here.
You're next. Right here.
Yep, you're next. They should all be next.
Now, this is a federal agent giving this man a lawful order. They want you to think, oh, this is all racism. Oh, it's just a bunch of white supremacists going after minorities. You know, this is how they frame it, right? But the reality is these are federal agents of all nationalities, races, colors, and creeds. This is America. Hispanic. This brother is African American. He has locks. You know what I'm saying? He's probably down with the get out. Probably blaze it up with you on any given day. But he gave this man a lawful order. He said, back up. So this guy, I would call this guy the race soldier, because maybe he's not respecting this guy's orders because he's black, right? That's how it gets. That's how it gets. Because the true racists are the liberals, right? He walks up to a federal agent with his hand behind his back. He's not even a foot away from this federal agent who has given him a lawful order. No telling what this guy might try. You've had people in Chicago trying to run over federal agents with cars. Two people brought guns to a protest. And there's no telling what this guy could be trying to do. There was another guy who opened fire with an assault rifle on federal agents, on ICE officers. There's no telling what this animal could have tried to do to this ICE agent. And when the ICE agent continuously tells him, hey, back up, bro, back up, the guy doesn't listen. I'm on public property, but there's still a such thing as personal space. And there's a such thing as a lawful order and enforcement of the law. But as soon as this brother starts to put belt to ass, the winch behind the guy who's over there agitating the situation starts screaming, he didn't do anything. He did too much, because I would have knocked this dude straight out. I wouldn't even wrestle with this dude. Bro would have got a left hook straight to the jaw and been asleep. This brother showed amazing restraint. He's trying to do his job so he can go home to his family. And ain't no telling what you animals might do, because you guys were celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. You might be a copycat trying to do some craziness with the hand behind his back, purposely creating a situation of uncertainty and insecurity so that he can force this agent to put his hands on him. You know what's so funny? There's so many people, right? They're saying all this injustice and violence is taking place in Chicago and Portland and all over the United States. But why is there no footage of it? Why is there no footage of it? Why is the only thing we have footage of is people attacking law enforcement? People trying to run law enforcement over with cars. People who choose to act as in a treasonous way against their own government in defense of people they couldn't even care less about. These people are out there because they are angry that Donald Trump won the presidency of the United States. They'll scream democracy. They'll scream due process. These were the people telling us during the election we need to take a civics course so we know the country works. But what part of civics teaches that it's okay to walk up in an aggressive manner on a federal agent and creating a situation where it looks like you're about to do something to him, and then cry victim when he operates to protect himself lawfully? What part of civics tells you to disobey a lawful order? Even if you get pulled over on the road by the police, any lawyer in America will tell you, hey, it doesn't matter how right you are. It doesn't matter how wrong you think they are. Follow their instructions. Argue in court, which is where these people should argue for the rights of the illegal immigrants that they love so much. But the reality is they know they can't win in court. They've been losing in court. So like true insurrectionists, they now want to go out and intimidate in an effort to make the rest of the law-abiding American citizens who voted for this capitulate to their hyper-emotional demands. We're not going to do it. There's nothing you can do to scare us. You guys murdered Charlie Kirk, and we're still here. I got on a stage in front of 200 radicalized liberals. They were cheering and celebrating and making jokes about Charlie Kirk's death. I still got on stage in front of them and told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. No one is scared of the far left. No one fears you. And you know that. That is why you have to go more extreme. You like a black person that don't want to fight. They're going to act all crazy, right? They're going to do the Will Smith. You got to act like you got a tick that you can't just, you can't control. Back up. Just mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. That's how they're acting right now. They got to play crazy in an attempt to scare us. And it's not working. So they are angry. They are angry. They are like their father, the devil. You know what they say about the devil in the Bible? They say the devil walks around like a roaring lion, seeking to devour someone because he knows his time is short. He knows his time is short. And like their father, the devil, the radical left wing of our political apparatus knows that its time is short. So they are out here trying to create chaos and fear. But this is not Haiti. This is not a third world country. We are about whooping ass in this country, and we're not afraid of the criminals. We're not afraid of criminals. It's not our government protecting us from you. It's our government protecting you from us. Because if Trump moves out the way, if he removes the hedge from around you, like God removed the hedge from around Job, he know we coming out guns blazing, kicking ass and taking names. We not asking no questions. We like menace to society. Don't be a minute. Don't ask no questions. Trust me. We are ready to bust heads to the white meat show, but we're civilized. We have families. We want to set a good example for our children. So the government has come and operated as a mediator between you and us, between us and them. Don't get it twisted. The way this ICE agent whooped down on this dude, that's the way. It would have been 10 times worse if it was a law-abiding American citizen, despite race, color, or creed. Let's keep it moving.
Oh, what's happening?
No!
And there's the takedown. Yeah, it didn't work.
He's not doing anything.
He's defying federal agents, impeding an investigation, assaulting them. Get out of
I'm
here.
standing right here. I'm gonna stand right here.
Yup, you're next. They should all be next. But look at this massive riot that started out of nowhere after ICE agents were attacked in their vehicle. Look at this. These people are just destroying Chicago for what? For what? Look at these guys. Masks everywhere, Palestine flags, and they're throwing stuff at the agents. Look at this. This is terrible. This is what you get when you have a sanctuary city. Look at these sanctuary mobs. This is ridiculous. These people should all be in jail. Look at them. They're all masked up. They don't want ICE to wear masks. This is awful. There's tear gas everywhere, and they wonder why. This is so disgusting, man. No, now they hear one siren. One siren. And that made them run. This is so awful. These people are essentially terrorists in America. This is terrorism. Tell me it's not. It ain't peaceful. That's what I'll tell you. It ain't peaceful. These guys are like driving through Iraq or something. This is crazy. This is not normal behavior. Look, if your Amazon packages are in that Amazon container right back here, I don't think they're showing up on time today. This is so awful.
That are happening, and it looks like Illinois State Police are protecting the Broadview ICE facility.
Yeah, well, they're just protecting law and order, the state police. But look, they hate them for it.
I think he needs to come and see the way that the citizens are being treated and the way that our right to protest is being oppressed.
Oh, my goodness.
And challenged. I mean, what country?
Look at her. She's fighting.
That we don't have the right to share our opinions and protest.
That's not an opinion. The shoving.
Yeah. We have a right to share our opinion, and look at how we're being treated. You guys are trying to fight federal agents. You're not trying to share an opinion. If you had an opinion, you would be doing what I'm doing, getting on the airwaves, disseminating a message to thousands of people. You want to go aggressively engage with ICE, and then when they aggress against you and they return the aggression or defend themselves, you want to fall on the ground and say, stop hitting me. You're the person who's punching someone in the face while screaming, stop punching me in the face. And no one is buying it. No one is fooled by this. You're a young, entitled Caucasian woman, as skinny as a rail. You've never been tough in your whole life, but you know that you can go up against ICE and play gangster. And if they do something to you, back to you, you can go and say, they violated me. They did this and they did that. You got out of your bed. You got out of your bed in the morning. You didn't say, you know what? I'm going to go have coffee and a pastry and read a book. You said, I'm going to get up out of my bed and go pretend that I care about El Salvadorian illegal immigrants, Hispanic, Mexican illegal immigrants, Haitian and Congolese illegal immigrants. Girl couldn't even point out Congo on a map. Couldn't point out El Salvador on a map. But she knows that her radical, liberal, Democrat cult leaders have told her that she has to care about this. So she's out there ready to risk life and limb for a bunch of people. If she saw them walking through her neighborhood, she would call the police. Let's be real. The virtue signaling has to end. It is disgusting and it's counterproductive.
She just engaged in with her own state police. That ain't an opinion, sister. I'm sorry. That's violence.
Protesters responding nearby the incident in Brighton Park,
so
angry
ridiculous.
about ICE activity in the area. One
They're
woman saying her son,
attacking
who is a U.S. citizen, was detained earlier today
Probably
by
because he
immigration
attacked them.
officials.
That's the
All of
only
this
reason they
happening
detain
after
people.
Secretary Noem's visit to the Broadview ICE facility, where protests have been intense. Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Gregory Bovino leading the arrest outside the facility. DHS says 13 protesters were arrested Friday morning, with Illinois State Police joining federal law enforcement officers and trying to keep
radicals. They cannot understand why their own state police in their sanctuary state are here shoulder to shoulder with federal agents. It's driving them nuts.
Chicago.
They think they believe like what people like Destiny, right? Destiny said that it is local law enforcement's job to fight against federal law enforcement. What are you talking about? Local law enforcement and federal law enforcement have taken the same oath, and that is to defend the Constitution. against enemies and threats, both foreign and domestic. And when you're in front of an ICE facility, not holding signs, not chanting peacefully, you are there trying to get into shoving matches with federal agents. You're there trying to getting into shoving matches with federal agents. You are not a peaceful protester. You are positioning yourself as an enemy of the state. And I like the state. I like living in America. It's easy for a bunch of people who ain't never been out of America to hate America because you don't see how bad it can get. You ain't been to the Middle East or to the UAE and went out there to those worker camps where people got third-degree burns from the sun and can't even live within city limits because their government has hyperinflated the economy to the point where they can't even live there. At least in America, you have a voice. In these other countries, you have nothing. You have nothing. You have shut the hell up and take it, or we disappear you in the middle of the night.
Them nuts.
Chicago sources telling Fox News police there were told to actually stand down on helping ICE agents who are in danger.
Oh, really?
Mike Tobin has this.
So the
story for us,
local
all the
police have
details.
stood
Hi, Mike.
down. So the stadies are in town.
And Dana, we've got a lot of rank and file Chicago police officers behind the scenes telling us that they are outraged that the stand down order went out to them
Terrible.
after federal agents were attacked. The order appears to have come through a communication from the chief of patrol over the communication through the Office of Emergency Management and Communication, reading, no units will respond to this. Multiple police sources have confirmed to us the message is authentic, and it is backed up by audio of the stand down order.
Now, look what it says. Please, Chief of Patrol, no units will respond to this as related from CS Caller is one of approximately 30 armed Border Patrol agents who are being surrounded by a large crowd of people requesting Chicago PD. So the Border Patrol agents, right? They in the ICE agents, they are literally calling the local law enforcement, saying, hey, come enforce local law. These people are surrounding us. They're getting aggressive. They're pushing us. They're shoving us. They're throwing things at us. And we don't want to do anything to them, right? Because by law, they're really not supposed to, enforce the law in local municipalities, right? But if they are attacked, they do have the right to arrest. But look at how they're being told by the local government, do not respond. Do not respond. Because the local government is literally hoping that conflict escalates between federal agents and the citizens so that they will have the optics to then go and try to sue the Trump administration for excessive use of force. Just a bunch of dummies with their strings being pulled by their local government, all to try to make Donald Trump look bad. I thought the law enforcement was supposed to protect you. Sometimes protection means protecting you from your own stupid actions. Chicago PD don't care about protecting the citizens. They won't even respond to a shooting, but they're going to protect the citizens. Par for the course. Par for the course from Democrat-run cities.
Well, let's hear that.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that per 999. Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location. All right, and 999, just to confirm, 39th Police in Kedzie, they were saying that they were being surrounded by that large crowd.
Yep.
And they were requesting the police were not sending. I'm waving off all the cars heading to.
This is discrimination based on your profession in Chicago. If you happen to work for the federal.
This is not like, I don't agree with him saying this is discrimination. This is treason. This is treason, not only against your government, but against the oath. It's a violation of the oath that you took to operate when you decided to become a police officer in the city of Chicago. You're literally saying, I'm not going to do my job for political reasons. Law enforcement is not supposed to be political. Law enforcement is supposed to be based on what's right and wrong under the laws of this country or these cities or these municipalities. They're literally making law enforcement political. And you know who's telling them to stand down? None other than Mayor Brandon Johnson. None other than Chicago's super woke liberal mayor, who doesn't really care about the well-being of his citizens. He only cares about being loyal to his cult. Radical socialist who is not qualified to run, that guy's not qualified to run a liquor store. But somehow, because he's black, he has been placed over one of the largest cities of America. And he's running it into the ground. And then gets on stage and tries to blame racism. A tired joke of a tactic that is not working for him.
Government, and you need law enforcement.
In an official statement, CPD says officers did respond, writing, quote, CPD responded to the scene to document the incident. CPD officers were also on the scene to maintain safety and traffic control. Now, chaos was triggered when, according to federal prosecutors, 2 individuals used their cars.
I wonder what made these people think they could attack ICE agents and get away with it. Did they know that the police would stand down? Had that already been apparent to people in Chicago after the last 3 weeks or so of rioting we've had at this ICE facility? It might have been.
Confirming that the deployment cited, quote, ongoing violent riots and lawlessness that local leaders have not quelled. Illinois State Police have been protecting the Broadview ICE facility for the last few days, pushing protesters.
This radical woman screaming at her own state police.
Governor Pritzker speaking out today as well.
They are the ones that are making it a war zone. They need to get out of Chicago. If they're not going to focus on the worst of the worst, which is what the president said they were going to do, they need to get the heck out.
What a disgusting statement. He says that ICE is out there arresting tamale vendors.
ICE is arresting gang members, specifically members of Tren de Aragua, which is an El Salvadorian gang, or Venezuelan, one of them. It's a gang that has been intimidating people and taking over apartment buildings from Chicago all the way to Aurora, Colorado. This guy is just ridiculous. These people are ridiculous with their lies. All they do is lie. And do you know why ICE has to come get the people, get the illegal immigrants or aliens out of the city? Because the Chicago Police Department has been told not to cooperate with ICE. Before it was just, if these people got arrested by local law enforcement will turn them over to the federal government. But they didn't want that. This is a sanctuary city. We're not turning nobody over. Now that Trump is coming after those illegals and they're sending ICE into the cities, now it's, oh my God, look what you're doing to our citizens. Dude, if I'm about to punch somebody and you choose to jump in between me and that person, that ain't on me. That's on you. If I'm about to slap the mess out of somebody and you choose to jump your little hot booty in between us and you get smacked across the face, that's not on us. That's on you. They are not protecting the city from ICE agents. They are protecting criminals from law enforcement. That's what they're doing. They are protecting criminals from being held accountable for breaking the laws of this country. What's so funny is, while they protect these criminals for breaking the law, go over to the prisons in Illinois, and you'll find thousands of people who have broken the laws of the state of Illinois and of the city of Chicago, and they are behind bars. What about Larry Hoover? Let him out. What about any of these other hood boogers that they done locked up? Let them out. Since laws no longer matter, they make money and profit off of you getting locked up, but want to spend your hard-earned dollars trying to protect, my gain is too high, trying to protect criminal, illegal, alien migrants from justice, from law enforcement. I don't know why we allow these people to do this, I don't know why there are American people who think that this is fair or right, but hey, to each his own. All I know is I'm going to vote for law and order and Trump.
Lexi Suter, Channel 5.
Yeah.
Back to the National Guard. To your knowledge, when will we see them in Chicago? Where will they be positioned? And what exactly is their task?
Yeah, those are all great questions. And some of your other colleagues brought those same questions up. I believe that's, from what I understand, the judge had the same questions and gave the federal government 48 hours to be able to respond, because none of that has been made clear. I mean, this is what is so difficult about this moment, is that you have an administration that is just refusing to cooperate with the local authority. And here's the thing, I want to just emphasize this again. Again, the framers of our Constitution understood the value of local control. They understood it. Here's the thing,
the framers of our Constitution would have never approved of someone like you being mayor of any city in America. This guy is not a servant of the people. He is an activist, woke idiot who thinks that the seat of mayor in Chicago is a position from which he can try to enforce draconian rules and override the laws of the land and hide behind his position. This is the same thing that lady was doing over in Thornton Township. Tiffany Henyard, right outside of Chicago. Because for some reason, many of these African American politicians think that getting elected to a political office means that they are above the law. And you are not. Darius, shut up. You know you hitting the nail on the head when you got some idiot from the town. Stop speaking on Chicago business. Do you understand that Chicago and everywhere else in America is under the Constitution of the United States? And they're violating it. They're violating it.
Understand that too. They just don't want to apply it in this particular situation because, as I said to your previous colleague, when you look at the local leadership across this country and you see the diversity of the leadership, these are the very cities that this president has declared war on. We're built different in Chicago.
So now Donald Trump has declared war on these cities because they're minority run. Do you ever see the other common denominator, that many minority cities are violent as hell and safe haven for criminals? What does this guy, listen, when you listen to somebody speak, the number one question you have to ask yourself is, how does this person benefit from what they're doing? Can anyone tell me how the mayor of Chicago benefits from creating a safe haven for illegal migrants? How does it benefit him? The guy's approval rating is like 20%. So everything he's doing is hurting his political career. This man will never get reelected to a political office. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's approval rating is 26%, with 58% of city residents disapproving, according to a poll from the University of Chicago. So they might say, like, I don't mind him being mayor, but I don't like him. His approval rating is 26%, with 58 of city residents disapproving of him. In August 2025, the University of Chicago's poll showed a decline in Johnson's approval compared to early in the year, when some polls had his approval rating in the single digits. Right? So the University of Chicago's poll said he was at 26%. Other polls said he was at, I seen polls as low as 9%. A poll conducted by M3 Strategy showed that only 14% of voters approved of Brandon Johnson, while 80% had an unfavorable view of Brandon Johnson. This guy is he's a total disaster. I'll let you see it right here. Soft Google search. No one likes him. But he'll sit up, oh, it's racism. Guy, you got put in because you black. And all the black people showed up to vote for you. Many white people voted for Brandon Johnson. Many Hispanics voted for Brandon Johnson. But as soon as they did, when you voted for me, oh, it's all about multiculturalism and everybody's included. But the minute you justly criticize me, the minute you come with a righteous criticism, oh, you're a racist. It's the same old shell game that the Democrats have been playing for the last 20 years. When you support me, it's kumbaya. But the minute you criticize me, oh, you're a racist. Aren't you guys tired of that? As educated as this man is, his only response to somebody, to his approval rating being in the dirt is, oh yeah, that's just because they racist. It's ridiculous.
We're built different. And the struggle has not been easy. But anything worth fighting for is worth struggling for. That's what this moment is calling for. So no, they have not communicated. None of those things have been made clear. But one thing that I can tell you that is clear, that we're going to hold this administration accountable. And I'm going to use every single tool that's available to me to protect every single resident of this beautiful city.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi. She said, I don't need no money.
But see, that's the whole thing. And somebody said Donald Trump's approval rating is 38%. Shoot, Donald Trump got 75 million votes. That's the only approval rating he needs. 75 million votes. And the people who voted for him still supporting him. That's what's going on. If you listen, I understand why the African American community doesn't like Donald Trump. We love criminals. We defend criminals in our own neighborhood. We in the black community, we defend people who make our neighborhoods unlivable. Dope dealers and dope fiends and drug and gangsters and murderers. We defend people like that. So I understand that our community is cooked. Black folks to sit up and complain about a Hispanic being racist at their job and then go stick their neck out across a damn guillotine, acting like they want to defend them because the Democrat Party told them to. Donald Trump is doing an amazing job. He's doing an amazing job. He's doing what he was elected to do. And you know what that means? That means that you're doing a good job. It doesn't matter if the approval goes up and down. He's doing what he was elected to do. He's doing what he said he would do. And that's all one can expect from someone who is an elected official. He's not doing it because he just wants to do it. He's doing it because he's been commissioned to do it. Just like we say we want law and order. So now he sends in the federal troops. The federal agents. These are just agents. They're attacking the federal agents in Chicago. The federal agents can't fight all these people. So now Trump is sending in the National Guard. I'm going to say it like that from now. The National Guard. You want to play games? You want to act like you gangster?
As far as
Donald
what we
Trump,
are hearing,
he's going to play games right with you. You want to attack federal agents because you think you tough? Donald Trump gonna play right with you and send in the National Guard. And I bet you they won't lay a finger on nobody's head once those troops are deployed, which they already been deployed.
You know, as far as what we are hearing, the National Guard, first of all, it's illegal, unconstitutional, it's dangerous, it's wrong. This is not about deportation. This is not about safety for this president. This is about authoritarianism. It's about stoking fear. It's about breaking the Constitution that would give him that much more control over our American cities. We have not heard directly, of course, from the president or his administration. And, you know, my expectation is that regardless of, you know, what this administration is doing, I'm going to remain firm and committed in protecting the rights and the civility of our nation. And we'll start right here in Chicago.
Is there any intelligence that you're hearing, not directly from the administration? Obviously, they're not talking to you, but I mean, have you gotten any inside intel about, you know, where the Texas National Guard went? They flew out last night. They arrived somewhere. And what about the Illinois National Guard and as to when they might be called up?
Right. So we do know that much like what we've seen in other parts of the country, there's a process that the National Guard goes through before they're actually released into the streets of Chicago or anywhere, you know. But what's really disturbing about all of this is that the National Guard, they have no policing authority or any policing powers. It's not what they're trained to do. And so, you know, the intel that we have received, obviously, is that this president is determined to federalize the National Guard and to occupy our cities with the military. It's unconscionable, it's unthinkable, but this is America today, and we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that our democracy is ultimately protected.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Your executive order a few weeks ago urged federal law enforcement to not wear masks and present other identifying information. As that seems to continue to be flouted, is there anything that your administration can do to enforce those suggestions and ensure that residents know that the masked people that are showing up are actually maybe federal officials versus someone else?
Well, first of all, residents of Chicago will know that if
So let's get educated on this really quick, because a lot of people don't understand this. Because if you see a black face on the internet saying, "Oh, this is illegal," we believe it. We just believe it. I don't know why. It's illegal. You don't know this dude from Adam, but if he says something is illegal, it's illegal. No, it's not. The Posse Comitatus Act, this 1878 law, prohibits the use of federal military personnel for domestic law enforcement, which includes making arrests and searches. When a president federalizes the National Guard, they become subject to this act, restricting them from acting as a civilian police force, right? So they can't come in the city and operate like the local PD. Makes sense, right? But the Insurrection Act, this act is a key exception to the Posse Comitatus Act, authorizing a president to deploy the military or federalize the National Guard for domestic law enforcement under specific conditions. The president must determine there is an insurrection or obstruction that makes it impracticable to enforce the laws. However, the vague wording of the act has led to different interpretations and ongoing legal debates. But what I know is, look at this one thing. The president must determine. So based on the president's determination, right? Based on his view, his perspective, his judgment, he is able to federalize the National Guard so that they can enforce law in local constituencies, right? If he feels like there is an insurrection or obstruction, what do you call a bunch of people showing up outside of an ICE facility. Some of them got guns. Some of them have tried to ambush ICE agents and run them over with cars. Someone has literally operated as a sniper and tried to shoot at federal agents, and I believe he actually killed 2 illegal immigrants. Guys, what do you want to happen before Donald Trump? And then also, don't mind you, the local police departments have refused to enforce the law. So at what point do you want this guy to federalize the National Guard? When everybody dead? So you could pat yourself on the back and be like, yeah, we slaughtered a bunch of our National Guard troops. We slaughtered a bunch of our Homeland Security agents in defense of a bunch of illegals who don't even care about us. Guys, do you realize that these people are defending gang violent criminals? Understand that. These people are out there protesting in defense of violent criminals who would sooner rob them than pour them a cup of coffee. This is like the damn chickens fighting for the fox. This is like the trees fighting for the axe. Are you crazy? Have you heard of Lincoln Riley? Have you heard of Jocelyn? I forget her last name. All you got to do is Google. I'm going to put American women killed by illegals. Let's go through the list. Y'all want to go through it with me? Y'all can go through the list with me. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. And when we read this list, I want you to think of your wife, your daughter. But you know, most people do that. That's why these idiots have to go find college kids who don't got no kids. College kids who tell their parents, Mom, Dad, I hate you. Rachel Morin, 37 years old, mother of 5, was found raped and deleted on a hiking trail. In 2024, an individual from El Salvador, Victor Martinez Hernandez, was sentenced to life in prison for her murder. He gets to live, but Rachel is dead. He gets to get 3 hot meals a day and sleep on a nice soft bed while she lays in the grave. Lincoln Riley, 22-year-old nursing student, was killed while jogging on the University of Georgia campus in February of 2024. An undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, Jose Antonio Ibarra, was arrested and charged with her murder. These are just the murders that they got caught for. How many did they commit in their cold cases right now? Because these dudes can just kill, change their name, and go to another state. They're not documented. No one knows who they are. Their fingerprints are not in the criminal database. So they just roam the streets like hobo train car killers. Let's go here. Jocelyn Nungary, a 12-year-old Houston girl, was found in a creek in June 2024. 2 Venezuelan nationals who had illegally entered the U.S. were charged with her murder. Let's go to Kyla Hamilton. The 20-year-old Maryland woman was killed in her home. Her death was attributed to an undocumented immigrant who was also an alleged MS-13 gang member. You know who else is in MS-13? Kilmar Abrego, the guy who they fought. These folks fought to bring him back to the United States. Kate Stennell, 32-year-old was fatally shot while walking on a San Francisco pier. She out there just trying to have fun at a pier. The shooting was carried out by an undocumented immigrant with prior felony convictions and multiple deportations. Sarah Root, the 21-year-old, was killed in Omaha, Nebraska in a drunk driving crash caused by an undocumented immigrant from Honduras. Dakara Thompson, the body of a 19-year-old Maryland woman, was found after she was reported missing. An undocumented Guatemalan national, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, was later indicted for her murder. One is too many. One is too many. And these are the ones being reported. Because in sanctuary cities, these governments have decided that they are not going to cooperate with the federal government when it comes to releasing the information about illegal criminal aliens who are committing crimes in America. You guys don't even know how many have killed and it's been attributed to gang violence, or it's just a cold case. No one knows who did it. Because they kill and then they just go, let me go hop to another state, or they flee back into their country and then wait a couple of months and come back. Guys, tell me right now, under the previous administration, what stops an illegal alien from coming into America, killing somebody, going back to his country for a couple of months, then coming right back in and walking around like nothing happened? Tell me. We don't have his DNA. We don't have his fingerprints. We don't have his face. We don't even have a social security card or a bank card to track this person. They can come in, go out, come in, go out, murder, kill, whatever. And you would never know. I would speculate that there are thousands of deaths and murders that have occurred at the hands of these people that we cannot account for because we cannot find these people. That doesn't make me feel safe. That doesn't make me feel like my daughter is safe. When someone could come over the border, kill, and then go back across the border to their country and act like nothing happened. Let the case get cold, come back, now he's a construction worker. Come back, now he working on concrete. Come back, now he cutting your lawn. Until one of the women in the house come out wearing one of them little silk robes and he catches a glimpse of a butt cheek. And his sadistic, animalistic rage and desire and lust is reignited. Now he goes in there and does the unthinkable. And guess what? All he got to do is just slide back over the border. That's it. And you know what Joe Biden did? He let 20 million of them in. 20 million. Because he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about what happens to you. As long as his son Bo and Hunter and all their kids are fine, he couldn't care less. Brandon Johnson don't care. He live in a gated community. Ain't nobody messing with him. Kamala Harris couldn't give a damn. I'm talking about all races. Because it's Haitians and Nigeria and all is black folks doing it too. 20 million. Yes, in 4 years. He told these people, surge the border. Listen. I know we got this long-term memory loss, but this will be short-term memory. He told these violent criminals, surge the border. He didn't say only the people who are legal, only the people who are truly good people. He said asylum seekers. A criminal could seek asylum. But now we're going to pretend that we don't remember Biden saying that. These people's blood is on his hands. These people's blood is on his hands. And you know what's funny? Biden doesn't even have to really take like full responsibility for it because he told you what he was going to do. He told the 90% of black voters that voted for him, he told you exactly what he was going to do. And you still voted for him because you hate Trump and the orange man is bad.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
I would tell them to surge the border. If you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression. So you know what the governments of the South American countries did? They said, well, look, I'm sure all these mentally ill people and all these gang members want to get the hell out of jail. I'm sure they feel oppressed. I'm sure they want to get the heck out of here. And you know what they did? They sent them all to the United States. And that list of women who have been murdered is what you get in return. And I'm telling you, we don't got proof, but I would bet my last dollar that if we had the vision or the perspective that God has, I would bet you that that list of women would be in the thousands if we could truly see the heinous acts that these dudes committed. He literally said, I would tell them to surge the border. Why would you say that? Why would you say something like that?
Served as vice president in an administration that deported 3 million people, the most ever in U.S. history. Did you do anything to prevent those deportations? I mean, you've been asked this question before and refused to answer, so let me try once again. Are you prepared to?
So this guy is bringing up the fact that Joe Biden was in an administration under Barack Obama that deported the most illegal aliens in history, 3 million, right? Why? So Joe, in 4 years, you went from being pro-deportation and anti-illegal immigration to saying surge the border. He literally just changed his opinion based on what was popular among Democrat voters at the moment. That's it. That's it. He doesn't care about this. If Democrats were saying, no, we don't want open borders, he'd be like, yeah, I'm against open borders. And then the next day they said, we're for open borders. He's going to say, yeah, I'm for open borders. Yet 90% of African Americans voted for this guy.
Say tonight that you and President Obama made a mistake about deportations. Why should Latinos trust you?
What Latinos should look at is comparing this president to the president we have is outrageous. Number one, we didn't lock people up in cages. We didn't separate families. We didn't do all of those things. Number one. Number two, by the time this is the president who came along with the DACA program. No one had ever done that before. This is the president who sent legislation to the desk saying he wants to find a pathway for the 11 million undocumented in the United States of America. This is the president who's done a great deal. So I'm proud to have served with him. What I would do as president is several more things because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come. I would change the order that the president just changed, saying women who were being beaten and abused could no longer claim that as a reason for asylum. And by the way, retrospectively, you know, the 25th anniversary of the Violence Against Women Act is up. The Republican Congress has not reauthorized it. Let's put pressure on them to pass the Violence Against Women Act now. But then
yeah, but you didn't answer the question.
Well,
Did you make him? He didn't answer the question. He literally dodged the question and started talking about the Violence Against Women's Act. He's not going to say I'm an absolute hypocrite and a liar and I'm switching my position on illegal immigration because my party wants that subject or topic resonates with our voters. You know, the people who are in our party want to use that to get votes from Hispanics. They literally pivoted. They literally pivoted just to try to attract the Hispanic vote. They went against what they believed just to attract a certain demographics vote. That is not the way you run the greatest country in America. I mean, in the world. That's not the way you administer justice. That's not the way you rule over anything. Just going back and forth on a whim according to what's going to get you the most vote. Why don't you run based on what's right and what keeps American citizens safe? What's wrong with that? When did that stop being good enough? When did that stop being good enough? They're in Chicago right now. Brandon Johnson still defending illegal immigrants while his own constituents are going in on him because they're not happy with all the illegal immigrants being allowed into their country and their hard-earned taxpayer dollars being given to illegal immigrants while they don't even have the resources they need.
To the roll call. Very well then. Mr. Clerk, public comments now.
Morning to my black people here. This is disgraceful. This is Black History Month, and I see some.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I find it courageous the way the man speak. I know y'all think it's entertaining, and a lot of us will bow our heads to it because we convicted by it. But we losing in this city, black people. I'm the young black man that love black people. I'm the young black man that's wild about black people. But I'm also the young black man in this city that's being underserved, mistreated, and just basically made to be invisible. I've been attacked in this city, shot multiple times. I've been pushed to the side by law enforcement. For what reason, I don't know. I'm attacked by judges. For what reason, I don't know. I guess it's for speaking up for black people. That's the only thing I could think about. But we just received new representation in Brandon Johnson. I was like, yeah, we got a smart black man in the school board, all these little different things. I was like, yeah. But then I think about other things. So to speak about what, I'm from Rogers Park. I'm from the north side for 30 years. I'm sure most of you all are here about Paulina or East Rogers Park and not understand how can that be a part of the north side of Chicago? Multiple murders, unsolved. My brother was killed in 1995. His name is Walter Sims. I have not had a follow-up call. There was a young man murdered, a few months ago when the yellow line crashed. His name is Kenneth. He was murdered by a young man named Kamari. I know both of these young kids. Friends murdered, but one of them is going to get off because the charges that were filed against him were dropped. So the city is showing us that black lives don't matter or black life does not matter.
Right? It's a classic. Al Pacino, right? Everybody knows about that movie. And we focus on the famous lines in that movie. You know, the acting and the hello to my little friend and all that. But it's the beginning of that movie that matters. When those words are coming up on that screen, that's what matters. And those words say, in May 1980, Fidel Castro opened the harbor at Muriel, Cuba, with the apparent intention of letting some of his people join their relatives in the United States. Within 72 hours, 3,000 US boats were headed for Cuba. It soon became evident that Castro was forcing the boat owners to carry back with them not only their relatives, but the dregs of his jails. of that 125,000 refugees that landed in Florida, an estimated 25,000 had criminal records. That's what's up. That's what has happened in the United States right now. All this asylum seeking lie, all this about refugees. No. What's happening is they're emptying out the dregs of their jails into the United States, into our communities. They're junking up our country. And yeah, we feel some kind of way about it because it's our country. It's our country. People like Vasquez and them, look how disrespectful they are. Now, you just gave that man a resolution for his father's restaurant. And every time we get up and talk, he's working this room. Look at him. Look at him. But he wants his resolution for his father to be respected. Vasquez, Lopez, all them want their people to be respected, but they can't even give us the dignity for what we built. But them, ain't no question about it.
Guys, what have I said to you that this woman from Chicago, she lives there, is not saying? The people of Chicago do not support these people who are anti-ICE. You don't even see a black face out there. If you go back to the footage, you don't see any African-American people out there. They don't support it. They know what's going on. They're not dumb. They're living with these people. When all these people flooded into their city, they were forced to live with these people. And they saw what these people were all about. Pimping the hoes and taking over apartment buildings and robbing folks and stealing cars and carjacking people. And they're fed up. I'm not saying this because I'm racist towards any group of people. I'm disseminating the message that the people of Chicago have given to me. I'm spreading the word. They're not happy with this. They don't approve of this. They don't approve of what the Democrats did, and these people need to be out. And the people defending these people, I promise you, are coming from areas where they do not have to deal with these people on a day-to-day basis. It's easy for somebody from Beverly Hills to come down to the slum and say, well, the police, you don't need to have this many police here. Because you know why? Because they don't gotta park their car down there at night. They don't gotta live down there and lock their windows down there at night. They get to fight to keep this community violent and chaotic and just hit the freeway and go back to Mayberry like they on Andy Griffith. This is what's going on. We all know what's going on, but we're told we got to ignore our lying eyes and just listen to what these politicians are saying. So Trump declared war on Chicago. He sends in the National Guard. While Brandon Johnson begs for money. He doesn't want Trump to enforce the law, but he wants Trump to keep giving him money so he can keep wasting it. And spending it on illegals. Like I keep telling you, there goes that old Democrat shell game. And he's angry because nobody's going for it. His own people have turned on him in that city because he sold them out from the day he got elected. He sold them out from the day he got elected. And he'll do it until the day they get his ass out of there. If you guys want to come up, now's your chance. Because I'm going to end this pretty soon. Let me see if I can bring y'all up. Anybody with some thoughts? Please hit the like button, share the content, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Let's keep moving. Coming to turn our cities into the same place they running from. Facts. Facts. Come on, man. These people ain't coming over here because they want to be law-abiding citizens. They coming over here because Americans are a soft target. Because the law literally prevents us from fighting back. Shout out to I'm gonna just call you Jaden. Shout out to Jaden for the $10 holler in the Cash App. Please don't be afraid to hit the Cash App and contribute to the stream, to the channel. Shout out to my boy Truth884, my brother from another mother, currently living in Chicago right now, blessing us with the $5 holler. Shout out to my boy Pimp Simp Police Academy in the building. He ain't lying, shouty. Facts, man. You already know. We've been on top of this, bro. We've been covering this. We ain't new to this. We true to this. We're not new. But they don't want to talk about this. And then the radical liberals like Destiny think that the Chicago PD, he said this in our debate, he thinks that the Chicago PD should be fighting against the federal agents, talking about defending the citizens. If they fight the federal agents, the only people that will be defending is illegal criminal aliens. Yo, recognized gang. Don't you owe me $100?
I don't owe you shit.
You said you wanted to do an interview for $100.
Well, you said that.
But I
you
never
wanted
got
to
my
charge me
$100.
$100. Yeah, because we never did the interview, bro. I mean, we
You
gonna
never
get
sent me
to
no
it.
information.
I wasn't even sure what to interview you about. It was a lot
You
going
lucky
on.
because I usually don't talk to people who owe me money, but go ahead.
Well, you was like 3 or 4 different people. I didn't know what your platform meant for a while. So you getting back to the politics, this is actually what I like to talk to you about. So we'll talk about that.
Go ahead.
But look, I
Did you
wanted
see
to
me?
ask
Did you
man,
see
it's
me
like
cook? Did you see me cook Destiny in that debate?
you did well. You did well. I
He
like
got
that
cooked,
you
bro. Just admit it. He got cooked.
I would say you was cooking, but neither one of y'all cooked the other because you're both keen on your stance, your respective stances, but I don't really agree with either one of you.
Bro was moving the goalposts. He wasn't even arguing the stances. He was just like trying to, oh God, what can I get him on? He's too much of a common sense dad.
See, I think both of you are party driven for the most part. So it's certain things that you just omit because your chosen party omits those things to keep a narrative going. So I mean, I can explain, but I just really
All
think,
right, let's get back to the topic. All right, illegal immigrants in Chicago. Trump
yeah, I was
declares war on
just,
Chicago, sends in National Guard.
yeah, this is actually to my point, the way that you handle the illegal immigrant thing. But you claim to be a free market capitalist, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so let me tell you how that doesn't make any sense. So do you believe in minimum wages? We should have a law that sets minimum wage?
No.
Okay, so ironically, you have an issue with these illegal border crossers replacing the American worker in the work field, right?
What?
Don't you have an issue with the illegal border crossers replacing the American workers in the workplace, in the American
Yeah,
economy?
yes, I have an issue with that.
Okay. All right. So what that actually means is that you want to tell employers, American employers, how much they have to pay as far as their wages. Because obviously the illegal border crossers, when they're being employed, they're willing to work for cheaper wages. So what you want to do is replace those illegal workers with American workers who are demanding by law a higher wage, right?
No.
And how's that impact prices? I mean, but just answer that question. Like, you really want?
I know you think you think you're smart and you think you
No,
aced that.
I just
But
understand
the reality is the
economics.
first word in the statement, illegal.
Right,
If they're illegal, they shouldn't even be in this country and they shouldn't be employed by anybody because they're
Yes.
illegal.
Yeah, that's the part I don't agree
if
with.
we enforce the law, keep them out the country, then American workers don't have to compete with them.
Right. So you want there to be a law like there is. You want this law to stay in place, which totally contradicts free market capitalism because you should be able to
Which law,
employ
bro? Which
anybody.
law?
The law that says that you cannot employ illegal border crossers, people who are undocumented because they're working illegally, and
Yes.
subsequently they are being employed illegally. And
You can't employ them because they have broken the law by illegally entering into this country. Has nothing to do with their rate of pay.
no, listen, my point is that they're being employed illegally. So the person who's actually the people or the entity that's actually replacing the American worker is the employer, because the illegal migrants, they don't employ themselves, right?
Right, but the capitalists are essentially breaking the law by employing illegal immigrants.
Right. So you voted for law and order, but you don't want to actually arrest the people who are breaking the law and
Yeah,
who are
yes, I do.
actually
Yes, I
hold
do.
on, no, you do not.
You
You
can't tell me
never
what I
talk
want to
about
do.
the employers ever.
Bro, the employer should be arrested or fined.
Okay,
But
I agree with you.
usually a fine scares them straight.
Okay, but
Usually
no,
a fine
actually it doesn't. It doesn't. What
a
happens is they
capitalist
pay the
the
fine and they
biggest
don't go
threat
to jail.
the biggest threat to a capitalist is taking his money. So if you
No,
want
that's
to
one
pay
of them.
so if you
That's
want to
one
pay
of them.
100K to the government for every illegal that you hire, go right ahead.
All right,
As
well
a fine.
they just made that a law, if it's even going to be a real law, but
Well,
if they're
guess
ever
what?
going to
Trump
enforce
is
it.
doing it. Bro, you
But
got to
guess
start
what?
somewhere.
They already have laws on the books that they're not enforcing. Trump didn't enforce them either. He
Trump
didn't
is
arrest.
Trump is
Trump
enforcing
did
the
not
number one
arrest
law.
any of the
Trump is
employers.
enforcing the number one law, which is to keep them from coming across the border.
All right, but the incentive for them to come
Border
across the
crossings are
border.
down to zero. Trump is running up in people's houses to drag illegals out. He's doing as much as he can as president within the parameters of the law.
Okay, well, the incentive. Well, he didn't do that during his first term, but the incentive.
He did. He had
From
some.
what
He had good
even
numbers on deportation.
okay, but he also allowed like 10 times more than I don't want to misquote, but he allowed like 10
You are
times more
misquoting.
illegals. Hold on. He allowed like 10 times more illegals to stay than Obama did. All right. Even though they were already here, he said by law they can stay, and it was way more than Obama ever did. So
So
I don't
Trump
agree
passed
with
the
either.
law. So Trump passed the law. So Trump passed DACA then. Saying he passed
No. I'm
said
saying
they can stay.
Trump natural what I want to say naturalized
Man,
like
you're lying. You're lying.
okay, well, you know
You're
I'm
lying.
telling the truth. Don't
No, I
lie.
don't.
You know I'm telling the truth. All right, because he didn't pass DACA, but he definitely allowed whatever the law was. He allowed Trump himself allowed like 10 times more people to actually stay here than Obama did. But let's get back to the topic because the
No, we're
free
gonna get
market.
back. No, we're gonna get back to your lie. That's what I love about
Well,
the
that's
internet.
not that's you can look it up. You
Listen,
can look it
man.
up. Just
I
pull
look
it up. Don't
AI
lie. Just pull it
overview.
up.
AI
Just pull it up.
overview. Did Trump naturalize illegals? Donald Trump has not naturalized undocumented immigrants. To the contrary, his administration has pursued policies to restrict immigration, including to attempts to end birthright citizenship and to strip some naturalized Americans of their citizenship. You want to keep lying?
Oh no, you know what it was?
Lying?
A path to
Oh no,
citizenship.
no. You're gonna
I
address
told you
your
I
lie.
probably was saying it
You're gonna
wrong, but
address your
a
lie.
path. Okay, a path to citizenship. It was one or the other, man. I told you I
Donald Trump
probably was
never
saying it
gave a
wrong.
path to citizenship.
All right, well, look, man. You know you're lying, and I'm just wrong on this as far as
I'm lying.
what
I just
exactly
looked
it
it up.
is. So let's just get back to the free market
You know
capitalism
what?
because
You know what? I will give you praise. Recognized game. It's liars like you who prepared me to deal
but all
with
right, man, but you
Destiny
know I'm not
Fine Ass.
lying. So let's just get to the
Bro,
free
we
market
just proved
capitalism
that
part
you're
because
lying.
you want to force American employers to
This is
pay
not about free market
a
capitalism.
a
This is
minimum
about
wage.
Trump. This is about Trump declaring war on Chicago and sending in the National Guard.
No, you were talking about illegals. That's
We
all
already
I heard you
caught you in
talking
one
about.
lie, bro.
All right, so you were talking about illegals and how you want them going, and I'm telling you that prices are going to go up, and
No,
you
they're
are
not.
not practicing free market
No, they're not.
capitalism
Prices
when
are
you
not going to go
force.
up.
Okay, let me finish. When you force the American employer, like you want to do by law, by force, you want to force the American employer to pay a minimum wage. That's what you just said. You don't want them to be able to pay the illegals that they incentivize to come over here. I personally don't have an issue with the illegal people working because the wages will stay low for that
I am
particular group.
losing brain cells. Recognized game. Do you have
Yeah,
anything
because
to
you're not
say?
a capitalist. Because you're
All right,
not a free
I'm not
market
a
capitalist.
capitalist. Okay,
You
I'm
believe
not a
in
capitalist.
corporatism,
I'm not a
corporatism.
capitalist.
You
I
believe in
believe in corporatism.
corporatism and cronyism,
Okay,
but you
are you
don't
done?
believe in free markets at all.
Are you done?
You don't believe in free markets because you
Okay, that's
never
fine.
talk
Are
about
you done?
lobbyists. You never talk about how Trump has USMCA, which is obviously central planning and
Okay,
communism.
are you
You,
done?
you, you never talk about these things.
Are you done?
I'm not done, but I mean, I'm willing to hear you out on why you don't
I
ever
mean,
bring
I
these
have
things
nothing to
up.
say to you. I already caught you in one lie. Now you're trying to move the
Well, I
goalposts.
didn't lie. That's the whole
This is
thing. I
all your
didn't lie.
opinion.
I mean,
These things are all your opinions.
I'm misquoting some. That's why I wanted to move on until I
We
actually
did
get more
try to move on,
information.
and then you descended further into psychosis.
Free market capitalism. You are opposed to free market capitalism. You're also opposed to free speech.
I appreciate your opinion.
I mean, if you support the tariffs, that's definitely not free market capitalism. That's central planning and communism, right?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Are tariffs anti-capitalistic?
Hold up, can you hear me? Yo?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
That Obama phone you on?
Okay, no, this is an iPhone, baby boy. It's the
Even worse.
latest. But look,
Even
all
worse.
right, but look, the USMCA, you don't support minimum wage, but USMCA makes minimum wage $16.
Okay.
And that's Trump's law. So
All
that's one reason
You're
why I
you're,
know that
rea-
you're either
you're reiterating.
you're
You're
either
reiterating
aloof.
the same thing. You're
All right, but you're
reiterating the same.
either
You've already
no, I
said
didn't
this.
say.
Recognize.
Oh, all right, I
You've
didn't think you heard
literally
me because
made these statements.
I couldn't hear
I heard
myself.
you. You said
But
it. You spent 15 minutes just talking about right now.
okay, so
Is that all
you
you have
like
to say?
no, actually, I made like several different points on why you are
You
not a
did
free
make those
market
points. And
capitalist.
now are you done with the point you're making? So I can move on to the next
Okay,
person?
so you saying you scared of
I
me and you
believe in
want to
freedom.
run
I
off
believe in
away from
freedom of
this
speech.
free
That's
market
why I let you.
capitalism? This
What?
discussion about free market capitalism, it scares you because I actually specialize in economics, and I know you don't think I know you think you know who you're talking to, but if you can actually articulate how you support free market capitalism, but you also support minimum wages, which you think you don't support, but you
Okay.
do support
Thank
minimum
you. Are you
wages.
done? Thank you. You've already said this.
All right, so answer. I
I
mean, you
did.
can opine at any time.
I answered it earlier.
You scared of me, Brandon. I'm gonna give you the $100 and I'm gonna put belt the ass on my platform.
Okay. Email me, my brother. I'll talk to you later. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
That's out of here. Go ahead, Mose the Great. This dude is crazy.
Yo,
Mose,
what
you
up,
don't want
man?
to show your face? You want to be the Lord of
Huh?
Darkness tonight?
No, I'm sure you can't see me.
No, brother. I saw you earlier with your construction vest on.
I don't know what's going on, brother. I'm not muted
Your
out or
screen is blank. You got your thumb over the screen, over the camera?
no.
Did you turn the light out in your car?
No, the light's on.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know
There's
what's
a
going
yeah, I don't know. It's cool, but I saw your face, so I know you're a real person. Go ahead, brother.
on. My thing is this, brother. I think Trump's doing a piss poor job for the simple fact that he's told so many blatant lies. The Project 25, he said didn't have anything to do with it. He did have something to do with it. Now he's coming out admitting that he did have something.
What did he have to do with it? Tell us.
Well, he stated that he spoke on being a part of it and implementing it. If I had the video, I'd pull it up. But I saw a video today where he blatantly said that he has something to do with Project 25. Another key issue is, why is the government shut down and we're having a debate on healthcare, and immigrants being covered in the healthcare, right?
Would you
And
like
we can
for
send,
immigrants to
we
receive?
send, no, sir, no, sir. But we can send billions of dollars to Ukraine, but we can't get up with the issue with the issues dealing at hand with our own people on our own soil. You got 2 million servicemen who aren't getting paid. You got
hold up with the government.
750,000 furloughed people who aren't getting paid, and it's a part of that is the TSA, the people who sworn to protect the country, the United States. They're not getting paid because these cocksuckers can't come to an agreement on health care, but we can send billions of dollars to Ukraine. That is piss poor leadership, no matter which way you shape it, cut it, or dice it.
Okay. Well, the government shut down. You're not. If the government is shut down, no money is going to go to Ukraine.
Yeah, but it already went to Ukraine. We could have used that
Yes,
money.
but that has nothing to do with the government shutdown.
I'm correlating that with the government shutdown because why is the government shut down when we have money that we allocated to other nations, brother? That's
But
how
what
I'm
I'm
allocating with that.
What I'm telling you is you're taking something from the past and trying to conflate it with what's present, what's happening present. If I give you $25 today, in 10 days from now, if I can't pay my light bill, you can't say like, oh man, you giving me that $25
I understand what you're getting at, but do you understand my point as well?
If I lose my wallet and can't pay the light bill.
How can we help other countries, but we can't help what's going on in our country?
That's what Trump is trying to do.
How?
That's why Trump worked to end
because it's not just migrants.
Are you gonna let me answer the question?
Oh, go ahead.
That's why Trump is working to end the conflict in Ukraine. While the Biden administration continued to agitate the situation and refuse to allow Zelensky to do peace talks with Russia to end the conflict. Trump is like, look, I want to end the conflict because I don't want people dying, but also that saves a lot of money. Because if there's no war, you don't have to keep sending money via weapons to Ukraine, right? So all I see is Trump ending conflicts around the world. I don't know where you see this, like Trump's wanting to give money to different countries.
If he's ending conflicts around the world, right? Why is he sending weapons and aid to Ukraine? How is that ending a conflict?
Because okay, so this is the way the government works. If Congress votes to do something, the president can't just come in and say, we're no longer doing that. There would have to be a vote to stop that from happening. At this point in America, the vast majority of American congressmen and women support sending weapons to Ukraine, right? A lot of them probably have stock in these weapon manufacturing companies. So even if Trump was like, we're going to stop sending weapons to Ukraine today, he can't do that. He doesn't have the power to do that. It would take an act of Congress to stop us from sending money and weapons to Ukraine. But what we do know is Biden is the one who signed those bills into law that sent billions and billions of dollars in weapons and money to Ukrainian oligarchs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
Ukraine
sense.
is not a part of Joy Charles, shut up. Ukraine is not part of NATO. Now,
no, Ukraine isn't. That's what the whole, and that's what it all boils down to. Ukraine not being a part of the NATO. They wanted to join NATO, and Putin said, hell no. There's no way I'm letting y'all join NATO. That's the reason, part of the reason why he invaded. And he wants to make a USSR again. He want to make Russia great again. He wants it to be all one government nation. That's why he sent the drone over there into Poland.
The USSR is never
over there. Well, that's what he wants to come back.
So many countries who were formerly in the USSR are in NATO right now, so it can't come back. I want you guys to just be educated I want you guys, I don't want people walking around under like these false premise notions. It is very difficult for a U.S. president to unilaterally stop all aid to Ukraine, though he can significantly influence the speed and type of assistance, as has occurred during Donald Trump's second term. So, mind you, Donald Trump has slowed up the money going over there and changed what type of assistance is being given to Ukraine. The distribution of aid involves various funding streams, delivery pipelines, and international agreements that a president cannot fully override without what? Congressional support. You're blaming Donald Trump for things that he has no ability to stop. He is kind of impeding it because he doesn't like Ukraine and he doesn't like Vladimir Zelensky. But this is a nation of laws, and the group of people who control the laws is Congress. And those aid bills were signed into law by Joe Biden.
But what's the validity of the illegal immigrants or the migrants being covered up under the Health Care Act?
There is no validity. This is just something that Congress is trying to force into the law. And Donald Trump ain't having it, and the Republicans ain't having it. So what they're going to do is a funding bill. So when you put it's just earmarks that they're trying to attach to a funding bill.
So prior to the government shutdown, illegal aliens, you believe that illegal aliens were afforded the same health care that American citizens were? You believe that?
No, I don't.
So what's the big deal then, man? Why we can't come to an agreement so people can get, so the government could be,
Do you know what?
if
Do
they
you know
never
what? Do you know
were
what?
covered?
Do you know what
if they
earmarks
never-
are?
Yeah, I know what earmarks are.
Okay, so I don't believe illegal immigrants should get health care. I believe they should get deported to get health care in their own country. But these are literally earmarks that Congress, that the Democrats are trying to attach to the federal funding bill.
Also,
And
so they're
because-
trying to implement it now. And this, when they came to the round table in October, which they always come the fiscal year. So this time they're trying to implement that. That's what you're saying, right? They're trying to implement health care for immigrants.
Well, what I think, I don't
Yeah.
even think I don't even think they're really trying to implement health care for illegal immigrants. What I think is they found something that they know Republicans will never agree to. So they put it out there to just stop up the process of funding the government, right? And so so as all these employees and stuff lose pay, they know that people will start blaming the Republicans for the holdup on the government funding. That's all it is. People are already doing it. People are already blaming the Republicans for the shutdown when it is the Democrats who are actually responsible for the government shutdown. This is just a political tool that has been used for decades. It's nothing new. They have no real power. Their approval ratings are in the dirt. And so they're trying to fight back, claw their way back, tooth and nail, and hurt the Republicans in any way they can.
I don't know. I think Trump's approval rating is going in the dirt as well, man.
I think Trump's approval rating is higher than the Democrats.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a Democrat in office running the country, but at the same time, I'm trying to let Trump cook, man. But he looked like the stove was on and ain't nobody home, man. I'm being honest.
Trump is cooking, man. I don't know what you're looking at, but Trump
I'm
is
letting
cooking.
him cook, man. But a lot of things that he's doing.
Trump
man,
is
I don't
doing
know.
everything. Trump is doing everything he said he was going to do. But it's like compared to a football game. Okay, a running back could be averaging 5 yards a carry, right? But if the running back in the game with 200 yards rushing, you know what I'm saying, on 25 carries, that's still a good game. Now, he could have just broke for two 99-yard runs from the one, It don't matter. At the end of the game, he still ended with 200 yards rushing. And that's a success, especially if they win. And that's Trump. It don't matter if you get it pretty or if you get it ugly. It's the only thing that matters is if you get it.
Let me ask you this.
Last
I heard
question.
you speaking. Okay. I heard you speaking about the National Guard and you saying it being a good thing. What do you think about the National Guard being deployed all across the United States? You don't think that that's that's like a pissing contest and him over flexing his authority?
He can't do that because he would have to have a need for that. There would have to be some extenuating circumstances where that's necessary. And you only see the issues occurring. Huh?
Was it necessary in Memphis?
Yes.
How so?
Because Memphis is being overrun with crime. And I don't think, and Trump is not deploying the National Guard to Memphis because they're gonna arrest or enforce the law. He's deploying the National Guard to Memphis as like an intimidation tactic for criminals. And if you go to Memphis right now, people are saying Memphis is the most peaceful it's ever been. Sticks and Stones LA says the governor asked for it. And so Donald Trump does have the right to deploy the National Guard if at the request of a governor. So there you go.
All right,
But
man. You have a good night, brother.
You too. TSM, what's up, my man? You got
what's
two
up, my man?
questions or two statements?
Okay, I'm gonna do a statement, bro. You know, I always pull up with a statement. Okay, a lot of people, I heard the guy talking about geopolitics and stuff like that. A lot of people don't understand something. Did you heard about the book called The Great Replacement from Ronald Camus? Or
Yeah,
not?
I've heard of that book.
Okay. Most of the Americans, because it's very important, because I grew up in France, so I know exactly who Ronald Camus is. Okay, he's a xenophobe, white supremacist author. And Donald Trump loved Ronald Camus. He loved his book. And most Americans never heard, especially Black Americans, never heard about Ronald Camus. And what Ronald Camus used to say, hey, immigration is going to change Europe. Immigration is going to change all the white country. Okay? And Donald Trump philosophy is based on this book, bro. Are you agree on that?
Yeah, but Ronald Carmouche is right. Immigration has changed Europe. Go to Paris.
Yeah.
It looks like shit now. Go to Rome. It looks like, dude, even go to your country, France. It looks like crap now because they let too many Africans immigrate over there.
No, the thing is like, I'm agree with you on that, but the problem is like,
But you just said you agree with me, and if I agree with Ronald Carmouche, you agree with him too.
No, let me say something. The thing is like Ronald Camus, I'm agree on certain point about what he said, but not exactly, not totally all of them. Because the problem with this kind of philosophy is like, okay, Ronald Camus used to say, we got too many African, okay? We got too many Asian, we got too many whatever. But the problem what Ronald Camus doesn't mention is like Europe, especially a country like France, can't get away without immigration. They can't. They can't. Why? Because they need the resources. They need the people. They need people because France, back in the day, in the 80s, it wasn't great like that. It was beautiful, but it was like economically very down. And like Donald Trump have the same kind of philosophy when he said, make America great again. We hear that, but like in the practice, it's very different, bro.
The Make America Great Again slogan is economic. It's purely economic.
Yes. Okay.
Has nothing to do. Donald Trump, listen, man. Donald Trump has more black friends than you. Stop it. You're purposely omitting the history of Donald Trump. You're acting like Donald Trump is suddenly like this huge racist when Donald Trump is giving more black people opportunity than 99% of all black people on the planet. We don't do that
No,
on this channel.
No, Brendan, I'm with you. I don't think Donald Trump is a racist. He's not a racist. No, he's not. He's a capitalist. He's not a racist, no. I'm agree with you on that because like at the end of the day, even now with the mass deportation stuff, who is gonna give a favor to? Most of people gonna get back those jobs is gonna be maybe black Americans. So actually Trump is doing what he can, the best he can for black Americans right now. It's true though. For example, like you can see.
So why are we bringing up Robert Carmouche?
No, I bring in Ronald Camus because like that's the philosophy. Nobody know really about it except you. Because like people talking Chicago, blah 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 blah. But you have to before the politics, you have to understand the philosophy. What is the philosophy actually of the government, the U.S. government right now? What I'm trying to say, the philosophy actually is the Ronald Camus philosophy. It can be good, it can be bad.
I don't think that the U.S. government's philosophy is Ronald Carmouche. I think that Trump received 75 million votes because the people of America saw what was going on with the illegal immigrants and how they were victimizing Americans. The American mainstream media showed it all over America, and people got scared. And so when Trump came with I'm going to get these people out the country, people approved of that, and they elected him to do just that. And he's doing what any president is supposed to do. He is doing the will of the people who put him in power. I just think I believe comparing Trump or this country to Robert Carmouche is a extreme reach. And I believe also that the far left ignored the American people's very valid concerns about illegal immigration. And when people expressed fear, they laughed in our faces, and they are dealing with the backlash of that.
Okay. I mean, I respect your point of view, though. I understand
and I promise you I won't call ICE on you. You're one of the good ones, though. But have a good night, my brother.
Take care, man.
I appreciate it. That was funny. We all needed a good laugh. But guys, you guys don't understand, man. When you guys watch that Destiny debate, don't think that your boy is new to this, man. I am in the greatest debate arena on earth. Call-in shows. When you are debating people on a call-in show, you are literally going against like the top of the top because you're going against Google. These people could be on your show on their laptop or their phone, and they could be on their phone and they could be on their laptop Googling stuff in real time, trying to find a question just to stump you. But if you just stay on track and if you believe in truth and transparency, you're going to win every debate. Because if you're wrong about something, just be like, yo, I was wrong. That's all you got to do. But so many people have built this, they've built themselves up off of this, like, I'm never wrong. I never misspeak, or I never answer any questions wrong. They just can't admit they're wrong. So they try to be willfully obtuse, and they try to like move the goalpost, anything to keep from admitting they're wrong. But let's get these super chats. Sticks and Stones LA, my boy. Salute to the channel, bro. Sticks and Stones LA again. 78% of people approve of illegal immigrants who committed crimes being deported, and 56% of the country wanted all illegal immigrants deported. See, those type of numbers don't lie, and they resonated with and they reflected the vote. Over 60% of eligible voters in America voted, and so the will of the people was, done. And you might not like the optics of it, but I challenge everybody, get up and go on the internet every day and find video of these injustices that are occurring. We haven't received video of the children in zip ties. We haven't received video of ICE beating people up beating down protesters in the streets of Chicago and Portland. And guys, let me tell you something. In this day and age, there's a video of everything. If anything is worth talking about or reporting, there is a video of it. So the fact that you haven't seen any video or footage of it, that is safe to say or safe to bet that it probably ain't true. This is all fear mongering and hysteria. And the majority of American people know it. That when they talk about these protests and how mass they are, these are not mass protests. These are a couple of dozen people outside acting a damn fool. There's a couple dozen people outside acting a doggone fool. That's it. But the news cameras, they're trying to, bro, I looked at the protests in Portland and there was people out there in chicken costumes and shit. Do you think that means that those people are serious? But shout out to my brother Sticks and Stones LA, amazing merch brand. Thank you so much for the super chats, my brother. I appreciate that. Let me just make sure nobody hit us on the Cash App. We already got the one. We already saluted my sister for the $10 hour Cash App. Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for the contributions. Pretty much that's it. That's it. We were gonna cover Greta Thunberg being captured and tortured by the country of Israel because she tried to invade Gaza. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna drop some videos tomorrow, and you guys are gonna get another live show because the Defiant Brandon show will be airing tomorrow. I'm trying to lock down a time. 6 p.m. is the time I really like, but 4 p.m. is the time when a lot of our brothers and sisters from the East Coast can tap in. Because if you go at 6 on the West Coast, it's late on the East. It's like 9 o'clock on the East Coast or 10 in some places, and those people can't tap in. So I'm probably going to do it tomorrow at 4 p.m. So let's lock in at 4 o'clock tomorrow for tomorrow's live show, and I hope you guys call up. I want this to be like I want everybody to participate. Until then, all I can say is blessings to the Kim folks. Peace to all of you. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Very exciting. We're going to keep on speaking truth to power and calling it like we see it and not being afraid to admit when we are wrong. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other.